Throwback Thursday here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton, coming to you from the Lee Company studio here in Columbia. That's Chris Yao coming to you from Montgomery County. Nice set there.
Yeah, you know, the real talent around this company gets nice, nice, pretty stuff. We just have to make do with all the MTSU stuff.
Well, we
my bad.
We do what we can. We do what we can. But hey, welcome in again. It's Throwback Thursday here on Main Street Sports Today. And later in the show, we will be throwing it back to a segment from last week as we had the opportunity to discuss new Tennessee State women's basketball coach Candace Dupree with former Tennessee State women's basketball coach and also former TSU athletics director TERESA PHILLIPS. So we will have that later in the show in the second hour specifically. Also in our second hour, we'll be visiting with PGA professional, television personality, and podcast host Virgil Herring, talking a little golf as the PGA Championship is underway up in Louisville. And also, as Wade and I discussed, Blades Brown from Brentwood Academy earlier this week in his performance over at Myrtle Beach, wanted to get somebody who knows a little bit more about the significance of that. So we'll be discussing that with Virgil as well. In the next segment, it's Coach's Corner, as it is typically on Thursdays, and we will be joined by Columbia Academy baseball coach RICHIE ESTEP, fresh off of a best-of-3 series sweep yesterday of Silverdale to get back to spring playing next week. Their first since going to Division IIA and their first since winning the 2018 Class A Division I state championship. So we'll be checking in with RICHIE here in the next segment, also giving out a little hardware for our team and athlete of the week in that next segment. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk a little Braves. We'll talk very little Braves. Chris, did you get to watch last night? I didn't.
No. I don't have Bally, so.
Oh.
I just have to listen. And I didn't get to listen either.
Well, it's probably just as well, all in all. But anyway, Houston's on a roll, but I don't know how much we're going to talk about that since Wade ain't here. Oh, yeah. There's a little matter of now everybody knows who and when their favorite team plays in this fall's NFL schedule, as the schedules were announced last night to much fanfare. So we'll get into that a little bit in the final segment of the show. So that's what we got. Should we go ahead and get started on that, Chris? Or is there
what else we got?
Is there any
better do we have to do?
Well, I mean, I didn't know if there was anything else that we needed to tend to here immediately, any old business before we got into the new business. So
the old business meeting.
There we go. Yeah. Let's go ahead then, without further ado, and give yesterday's results and today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
We'll start with baseball. Beach, a 3-1 winner over Lincoln County. Clarksville blanks Collierville 11-0. Columbia Academy, as you said, Mo, a sweep over Silverdale 3-1 and 2-0. Knoxville Catholic and CPA, it looks like they just played one. So Knoxville Catholic was a 4-2 winner there. Creekwood, 5-4 winners over White House, advancing to the state tournament. Big win there, I think. First time maybe ever for them. So
now, is that advancing to the state tournament, or was that a region final?
I don't think that may be a region final. I'm not sure. You're right.
I'm not sure.
I think it is. I think you're right. I think it was a region final. Either way, advancing to the sectionals then potentially. Eagleville 10, Collinwood nothing. Smith County 9-4 winners over East Nashville. Good Pasture sweeps Lausanne 1-0 and 4-3. Loretto sweeps Camden Central 10-0 and 13-5. Richland will end its season a 1-0 and 3-2 loser to McKenzie. Green Hill 6, Nolensville 4. South Pittsburgh and East Robertson split a pair, 8-5 for South Pittsburgh, 7-3 for East Robertson. And Station Camp Chester County, a 3-0 win there for the Bison.
Singular, Bison. Yeah.
Yeah, just one.
Coverage of that Columbia Academy series, by the way, at mainstreetmurray.com. Be sure and check that out. Softball action yesterday. Huntington with a 7-2 win over Cheatham County. Hate that for the Lady Cubs. Community with a 2-0 win over Summertown, setting up that Huntington Summertown sectional tomorrow, by the way. Creekwood 6, Lexington 3. Henry County with a 4-1 win over Dixon County. It was Eagleville 16, Huntland 4. Greenbrier with a 11-10 win over Macon County. Green Hill defeated Mount Juliet 12-9. Nolensville with a 3-0 victory over Lincoln County. And I'm going to tell you, having seen Lincoln County earlier this week, shutting them out is no small feat. Stewart's Creek 3, Smyrna 0. On the pitch, it was Battleground Academy with a 2-1 win over Westminster Academy. Rossview doubled up Clarksville 4-2. Franklin County with a 4-0 win over Murfreesboro Central. And Rockvale blanked Laverne 2-1.
Professional action, Major League Baseball. Cubs 7-1 winners over the Braves. Astros blanked the Athletics 3-0. The Sounds down in Jacksonville, a little afternoon matinee, 5-3 winners over the Jumbo Shrimp. On the pitch, we'll talk about this a little bit more in a second.
Yes, we
Nashville shuts out Toronto 2-0. And in WNBA play, it's the Dallas Wings 87, Chicago Sky 79, and the Atlanta Dream, led by Ryan Howard, a big win over Los Angeles 92-81.
Baseball action today at 4 o'clock. Knoxville Catholic continues its series at Christ Presbyterian. Also at 4 o'clock, a doubleheader at Huntington as Summertown goes west. First game is at 4. Second game will follow. At 4:30 today, Collierville is at Clarksville. I don't know. Did Eagleville and College?
I think these are maybe game 2 and 3.
Okay. Yeah.
These are sectional games. These are games 2 and 3.
Yeah, these are sectional games. My bad. Okay, so it could potentially be a doubleheader between Collinwood at Eagleville at 5 o'clock. If Eagleville wins the first game, there will not be a second game. Riverdale plays at Bradley Central. That is 2 at 5 and 7 Central Time. Second game between Collierville and Clarksville is at 6:30. Green Hill is at Nolensville at 6. Games we do not have start times for include Smith County at East Nashville, East Robertson at South Pittsburgh, Chester County at Station Camp, Whites Creek at White House Heritage, Lincoln County at Beach, White House at Creekwood, and Cleveland at Siegel.
Yeah, this is White House won game 2 in that Creekwood series 6-2. That's where we've missed.
Okay, so that is a 1-1. So this is the
decisive game 3. Yeah, decisive game 3. So there you go.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Now we continue. Boys soccer action tonight or this afternoon at 4:30. White House Heritage hosts Liberty Creek. Beach is at Hendersonville at 7. And times unknown for Station Camp at Martin Luther King, Brentwood at Ravenwood, and Harpeth at Westview. Major League Baseball tonight, the Athletics are at the Astros at 7:10. Start Jacksonville hosting the Sounds at 6:05. And in WNBA action, it's the New York Liberty at the Indiana Fever. That's on Amazon Prime. Tip-off at 6 p.m. That, folks, is your rundown. Top story brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Is your videos behind?
Oh, okay.
Is that what's going on?
Apparently it is. Our top story brought to you, as always, by Piggly Wiggly over in Neely's Mill in Columbia. Be sure and stop by for their delicious daily deli lunch and dinner options, as well as their hand-cut meats, and everything is cost plus 10% at the cash register. Piggly Wiggly, Neely's Mill, Columbia, bringing you today's top story. And as Chris mentioned, the Nashville Soccer Club at Geodis Park last night got a 2-0 victory over visiting Toronto. And so at least Gary Smith goes out with a victory, because this morning it was announced that both he and assistant coach Steve Guppy, 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 are departing the club. Gary Smith, the only coach in the 7-season history of the Nashville Soccer Club, led the team to 6 consecutive postseason appearances and a Leagues Cup final last year. But, we've been discussing it at various points over the course of this season. Kind of lost their footing a little bit. 3-4-5 now following last night's 2-0 win. So, a change has been made. Former player and current player development coach Rumba Munthali will take over the head coaching reins on an interim basis while a search is conducted.
Scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you on the pronunciation of Roomba?
3.
It's a 50-50 shot. So
Absolutely. I mean, I could go 2.5 if you want me to. Yeah. I will be honest with you. I probably feel better about Munthali than I do about Roomba.
Me too.
So,
That's crazy. Oh man, yeah, this is interesting. Sometimes, and look, I pretend to know nothing or anything at all about professional soccer. I can tell you I am the least knowledgeable person in this room, at least.
No, in that room. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
And so, look, but when it comes to firing and coaching and all of those things, it's a cop-out sometimes. I don't know if this is a cop-out. I don't know if he deserved it. But, I mean, the dude took them to the playoffs in 4 years from scratch. I mean, they started a franchise and they went to the playoffs for 4 years. And now, this would be like firing Tim Corbin right now. And then trying to hire somebody and be like, listen, I know we just fired the guy who took us to 4 straight playoff appearances in 4 years of existence, but
we think you can be better.
We only and he only had the 1 bad year. So how would you like to be our coach?
Might
be a tough sell. That's all I'm saying.
I will tell you this. It may not necessarily be along the lines of a Vanderbilt potentially firing a Tim Corbin, but it certainly reeks of Ole Miss firing David Cutcliffe.
Very much so.
I get it to some degree. I will give you the same disclaimer that Chris just gave you. What I know about soccer and professional soccer in particular, you could put in a thimble and there would still be plenty of room. But, I just wonder if this is a needs to hear a different voice type thing. Now, this team has dealt with some injuries this season.
They've dealt with a lot.
And
now, that being said, they've had their 2 best players. They haven't had their 3rd best player, but they have had their 2 best, which probably, doesn't help you. But I think this is just a very similar situation to, maybe Peter Laviolette, where he's taken us as far as he can take us, and now's the best time with the best excuse possible to go find someone new.
Jeremy Foley?
Yeah.
What must be done eventually should be done immediately, or something to that effect. But again, it's really wild that it's the day after a win. I mean, they just lost Sunday over at Charlotte, or Saturday or Sunday over there.
my assumption is the decision was made following the Charlotte loss, right? And I don't know why you don't do it then, but I mean, I don't know when their next match is, and that may have something to do
Saturday.
with it. Oh, really? So it's not like they have a long layoff and have some time to reconfigure. No, they just got to turn around and play.
12:30 Saturday at Geodis.
Well, at least it's at home.
They take on visiting Atlanta United as part of MLS Rivalry Week. So,
are we rivals with Atlanta? I don't know.
I mean, geographically speaking, you would think
that makes sense.
It does
make
sense.
That's about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, Gary Smith, the only coach in Nashville Soccer Club history, no longer coach of the Nashville Soccer Club as of this morning. We will have Valer Shabila on tomorrow to further discuss this and, how we got here and what it means. So come back with us or stay with us the rest of today because we'll be here till 4 o'clock. But we will have Valer at 3:20 tomorrow. So be sure and tune in for that as well. Let's go ahead and go to a break here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Because when we come back to the Lee Company studios, we will be joined by, currently in the green room, 5-time state championship baseball coach Richie ESTEP, going for a 6th next week when Columbia Academy goes to Spring Fling. Stay with us after the break.
Bluegrass Auction Associates is hosting another real estate auction Saturday, June 8th at 10 a.m. in the beautiful Hickory Woods subdivision. This spacious estate offers numerous amenities, perfect for the homeowner or investor. Conveniently located in Davidson County, Tennessee at 221 Wild Grove Court. This is the sale you don't want to miss. Join Bluegrass and bid with confidence Saturday, June 8th at 10 a.m.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
On Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Chris Yao coming to you from the Lee Company Studios in Columbia and in Clarksville. And we are joined now on Coach's Corner by Columbia Academy baseball coach Richie ESTEP, whose team clinched a berth at Spring Fling next week with a pair of victories in the Division 2A state quarterfinal best of 3 series yesterday against visiting Silverdale. Coach, good afternoon and congratulations.
Hey, I appreciate it. You guys hear me?
Yes, we can. We appreciate you taking some time. I know we've reached out on a couple of other occasions this season and the time wasn't quite right, but I feel like this is as good a time as any to get you on in light of what your team's accomplished to this point, 34-6 on the year, which is already a single season record for wins at Columbia Academy, and looking for about 3 more, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me on. We get a few days to kind of breathe for a minute. We don't have very many days off with this in D2. We play all the time. You have to squeeze them in, have to play so many games, but I'm super proud, super pumped for these guys. Our goal was to get stronger and to throw harder all off season. We exceeded expectation last year. We were just young. We weren't ready for this. And these guys, they have a hunger for it, and they are playing well right now. And I couldn't be more proud.
I tell you what, Richie, I was fortunate enough to be able to be there yesterday, and I don't know that you could see 2 better high school baseball games than, the 2 efforts that you and Silverdale put on the field yesterday. I mean, you won that first game 3-1. Gunnar Skelton, and we're going to talk more about him in just a second, but Gunnar Skelton throws 6 2/3 shutout before or 6 1/3, I guess, officially, before he gave up a sac fly to give up the 1 run. And then Jackson Lee comes back and strikes out 13 in a 2-0 victory. I mean, pitching and defense, I mean, if you do them to that level, you're going to win a lot of games, 34 to this point. And has that been the way it's gone for you guys pretty much all year?
I mean, we've had about 7, 8 games in a row, just like what you saw. And we expect it, and our guys don't think they're going to lose. That's a strength of theirs. It took them a while to get some confidence in that. But like you said, Silverdale, credit them. They're a young squad. They lost a lot of players. They surprised people this year. But they've been to back-to-back Final Fours. They've been here. And they're comfortable in these little close games too. But our pitchers are lights out. Gunner's just gritty, and he pitches on guts. He makes pitches when he has to. They had runners a lot all day. But he makes his best pitches when there's runners out there. And I would take a lot just like him. And then Jackson Lee, I mean, he's got the best stuff on the team. I mean, he throws strikes, and he believes in that fastball. It's just hard to hit his fastball alone. And I think he struck out the first 7 batters of the game. And he threw 2 or 3 off-speed pitches the whole time. And it's just fun to watch them pitch. But we preach pitching and defense. You can be in every game, no matter who you play. If you can pitch, throw strikes, and make the routine plays and make the other team beat you. And that's something that you'll always be in a game when you can do that.
And Richie, you mentioned the confidence level of this team to only have 3 senior starters, you know, I guess success breeds confidence, but where does that belief really come from?
I don't know. I just think it's being together for a while. We lost one senior last year. We were so young last year. People would ask me all the time, "Where's your varsity team?" They thought I brought my JV team to play them, but they just want. I mean, all this team has done is won. What we ask them to do, they do it. They don't gripe about it. They just get it done. And I think as time has gone on this year, they saw that our staff was pretty good, and we just find ways to score runs and find ways to win. And I just think as we've gotten into this, we had to get past a couple of hurdles. I mean, last year in the district, our district's hard enough. Just to get through your district is a good thing. But we are very good front runners, and we get a lead. With our pitching staff, we're pretty good in the lead, but we struggled when we would get behind. So if we got behind 3 runs, everyone started trying to like win the game by themselves, and we would pop up. And so I told them, I said, I guess if we get behind, we're not going to win. And so we had to overcome that and challenge them. Just be you. Us is enough. That was the message the other day. We played 38 games. We won 32 of them. Being ourselves is good enough. It's won 32 out of 38 games. Not many people can say that. So don't try to do anything extra. And I just think seeing us come out on top and winning a lot of close games and seeing a lot of good teams and a lot of good pitching has just given them that confidence and that hunger to want to be better than that upset last year.
Coach, talk about the upset last year, and you go back to that first round in the Middle Region against Clarksville Academy, a 1-0 loss. It happens to be the last time you guys did lose, but how much of last year's experience helped your team to get through and get back and eventually win that Middle Region tournament? It just seems like they clearly had a goal to not let last year repeat itself.
They did. And we went through a couple of stretches, like I said, where we lost a couple games and it felt like last year. And with last year, everything just went our way. We didn't have much adversity. But they've been hungry all year. They want to be good. They want to be special. I mean, you can just see it in the way we go about our business. And it's fun. It's been fun to watch them. But, I wish we would score a few more runs and let us breathe a little more, make it a little easier. But they just have a desire to be good and just go about their routine on a day-to-day basis. And it's fun to be the coach because that's what you want. Because you have years where guys will fight you and don't want to put in the time and the work because it's a lot. It's a lot since January. We've been grinding, and we lost that first game to Clarksville, like you said. And I told them I've done this a long time, and the state tournament is designed the same way as our region. It was for years, and I've never come through the losers bracket after losing the game 1. It's just very difficult to do, and they did that, and that was a first for us. We got 34 wins. That's a first for us. And that's kind of been our theme this past week. Let's just keep being the first. Let's be the first CA team in D2 to make a Final Four. So that's what they continue to do, and they got the desire to do it, and I love watching it.
Could be the first CA team in D2 to win a state championship. And Richie ESTEP, baseball coach at Columbia Academy, joining us here on Coach's Corner. I feel like you've probably already been asked this, so I'll just jump on the bandwagon. Prior to coming back to your alma mater, you spent a long time at Good Pasture. Good Pasture defeated Lausanne twice yesterday, so they're going to be in Murfreesboro as well. Providence Academy is the third team. Boyd Buchanan and Friendship Christian are playing game 3 today, so the bracket is not set. But at some point you're going to see Good Pasture, right?
We are. I had this conversation. It might have been with you, but I've had it with several people that somehow over the years we just haven't, our paths hadn't crossed. And you knew the day was going to come, but a lot of time has passed, and Jim Carter has just continued what we've done, myself and forehand. There he does a great job. He's done it his way. I texted him last night actually and said, "You making a Final Four in D2 look easy, and just to make one of them is so hard. I mean, it's like a 3.5-week state tournament. You feel like you're just grinding. Every game is tough, and he just makes it look easy. But it definitely would be, I guess 2 years ago we played at Good Pasture. Our season ended at Good Pasture on a tough call. I've got so many good memories there, so many good people there. Have nothing but good things to say about it, and so it will be. If we end up, I think if Friendship would win, I think we would play Good Pasture round 1. If Boyd wins, I think we would face up with Providence. I think that's the way it would shake out. But I would look forward to the opportunity. I'm gonna live in the moment, and once you between those lines, all of that's forgotten, and you just go out there and try to compete and win.
Richie ESTEP, Columbia Academy baseball coach, joining us here on Main Street Sports today on Coach's Corner. Richie, the Tennessee Baseball Coaches Association announced their 2024 Mr. Baseball finalists yesterday, and among them, here locally, of local interest, Carter Daniel is one of 3 finalists in Class AA out of Loretto, and your sophomore Gunnar Skelton is one of 3 finalists in Division 2A. What is the significance of that for him, for y'all?
Yeah, it's huge. We've been fortunate to have 3 guys, I think, over the years. Scott Lentz, Will McCall, and Kavaris was nominated twice, and Kavaris Tears. And we've never had a winner, but it's just an honor to be in that group. Gunnar, he's special. He started as an 8th grader. He's one of my only ones ever to start. He's just, when it comes to baseball, he is just wise beyond his years. You don't have to teach him things. He just knows how to play the game. And I wasn't sure he would be in the conversation just being a sophomore. But if you look at his numbers and his stats and what he brings to the table and what just pure grit and guts that he brings, I wouldn't trade him for nothing. So he doesn't always look like the best. You may not think his stuff that may not always look the best, but he is going to make pitches and he's going to compete and he finds ways to win. And I told him, I'm sorry, halfway through the season, Gunnar, you throw against every number 1 pitcher. You throw against every Vanderbilt signing that we have in our division, and you throw game 1 against them every time. And all you do is win. And we ask you to, all right, don't let them score. And he does it. And so it's just impressive watching to do it as a sophomore. Super, super excited for him, and we'll be there to support on our way to game 1 on Tuesday with him. So it'll be fun.
11 o'clock is that awards ceremony over in Murfreesboro prior to Tuesday's games. All he does is win. Oh, my fault. Sorry. Richie, tell us about some of the other guys you mentioned Jackson Lee, and again, 13 strikeouts yesterday, and to look at him, he does not necessarily look overpowering. And you guys, apparently there is a tradition where y'all are taking a picture after each of your postseason games. And when other teams see those pictures, I imagine they kind of look, and if they don't know, it's like, who's good? Because there's no Kavaris tears on this team. There's nobody that just, you look at him and you say, man, that dude's a stud. And no disrespect meant. It's just nobody necessarily jumps out at you in terms of the looks test.
Who walks off the first? Who's the first person off the bus to intimidate folks? That's the question. you gotta stack three of them together.
Pernell Knox.
No,
that's
right.
good.
Last year, everyone thinking, man, I hope we can just reach 10 wins. We're so young. We're so little. We got a bunch of 9-hole hitters. And that's what makes this so impressive. But as far as Jackson Lee goes, yeah, you would not think that he could be as good as he is, but he's so hard to hit, and he could throw 80% fastballs and get you out because his ball is heavy and it moves so much. It's never the same, and but he's done a great job. And sometimes if we're in a funk, we just say, well, we got Jay Lee on the bump, he'll fix it. So but we got others too. Will Rhodes is our number 3 pitcher. He's 7-1. His ERA is barely over 1, and he's our number 3. And he didn't get to pitch in this series, but he's had a great year. CJ Duro is our number 4. He's really our closer, and he can, he comes in. He can. I remember the BGA game. His last 2 probably were almost 90. But that was our goal. We got to throw harder. So we've got 4 guys. Yeah, at least 4 guys mid-80s to upper 80s, and we just got to get stronger. And that's kind of was our focus all year long. But Andy Reid is our 4-hole hitter, and he's not your typical 4-hole hitter, but he gets on base all the time, and he will find a way to knock a run in, and that's our other senior. So. There's just nothing flashy about us. We're just going to put the work in. It's more like the blue collar. Okay. We're going to show up and we're just going to outwork you. And that's the type of team that I love to have. And it's hard to find them anymore, but that's what we are.
Well, and we've talked a lot about those pitchers, and you told me after your 700th win, and I was able to get out there and see that and write that story, and it was a pleasure to do that. But you told me that, not having to kind of worry about the pitchers because you've got a kind of an ace literally up your sleeve coaching those guys up.
Yes, we made a great hire, Alex Huey, who was on the mound in 2018 when we won the state championship, and I pretty much told him, you cannot give up a run. You can't give up a run until Ryan Weathers comes out of the game, and that's what happened. That's what he did. But he's had a great career. He had a career at Freed, and the job came open. We had a social studies teacher retire. And we got him and his wife here, she was really good at Freed too on the softball team. And just to be able to let go of that, I have called every pitch for 20 plus years, and to let that go and to just say, hey, do it. I was 22, 23 when Jeff Forehand said, hey, call the pitches. And he's kind of a mini me. He loves the game like I do. And he has taken the pitchers and ran with it, and he's got immediate respect in the fact that his career at Freed, he's got impressive numbers, and they know what he's done here, and so it was a big hire, and he just happy to have him on the staff.
So is he bringing the ring to practice today or tomorrow, or when is he pulling that out?
I don't know. We've kind of pulled him out and said, dream big. This was a few weeks ago. I brought mine in and said, let's dream big. Why can't we? And so you got to let them see it. They got to believe somehow. That's the hardest thing with teenagers is making them believe in themselves. When they get out once, they just think it's the end of the world, and but it's not about one at bat. It's about all of us together, and so that's what we've done. So they have seen it to help them dream. It's tough. It's going to be tough. When we get there to win one game is going to be tough, but we're going to go there and compete like crazy.
I don't think anybody that knows you would expect anything other than that. Richie ESTEP, coach at his alma mater, Columbia Academy, joining us here on Coach's Corner on Main Street Sports today. Richie, appreciate you taking some time with us, man. I could talk to you all day long, but I know you got a field to drag or tarp to get up or something.
I'm in the middle of a cut right now.
We're going to let you get to it.
We're going to start practicing. They thought we were going to have today off, but it's too nice a day. We got graduation Saturday, so they can take Saturday off. But
that's awful kind of you. Hey, we'll see you in Murfreesboro. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on. Y'all do great. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we wrap this segment up, we've got some hardware that we need to give out. Also, want to run through the rest of this this Mr. Baseball finalist list again from the Tennessee Baseball Coaches Association. In Class A, Eagleville's Braden Baker, Lookout Valley's Rylan Collins, and Coalfield's Luke Treese are your three finalists in Division I Class A. In Class AA, again, Carter Daniel from Loretto, the Union University signee, is joined by Huntington's Gray Eubanks and Pigeon Forge's Trevin Myers. In Class 3A, it's Gabe Eddington from Montgomery Central, Carson Parrott from Livingston Academy, and Jackson Walker from Loudon. And in Class 4A, you've got Farragut's Eli Evans. Of course, it wouldn't be a list if somebody from Farragut wasn't on it. Andrew Hill from Knoxville Central and Brady Scott from Sevier County. We told you that Gunnar Skelton from Columbia Academy is one of the D2A finalists. He is joined by Wes Allig of Christian Academy of Knoxville and Boyd Buchanan's Cooper Jones. And in D2AA, you've got Christ Presbyterian's Brock Bedingfield, Brentwood Academy's Dominic Monaco, and Baylor's Tomas Valencius. So again, these finalists will be recognized and the winners will be announced at 11 o'clock Tuesday at the Family Worship Center over in Murfreesboro. So that's that. Again, Weekly Hardware, our custom stone handlers in to win team of the week is the Summertown Lady Eagles, who swept their way to the District 10 2A tournament championship last week. Won 4 games by a combined total of 21-5, including a couple of wins over, 3 wins over county rival Loretto, 5-1, 5-1, and 3-2 in the championship game. So anyway,
trying to figure out how they got 3. Had to be just 5-1 and 3-2, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. We're kind of in a trust but verify mode with some of our sources here. But again, at any rate, Summertown undefeated in the District 10 2A tournament championship. Congrats to the Lady Eagles there. Our Main Street Murray Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia Athlete of the Week is Savia Morgan of Columbia Central. The University of Tennessee Lady Vol signee went 8 for 11 last week in 3 games, scored 3 runs. More importantly, though, she stole 5 bases, giving her 75 for the year, which is a new TSSAA single season record. And she stole those 75 bases on 75 attempts. And going back over her final 2 seasons at Columbia Central, she is 125 of 126. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's
always an exception that proves the rule, and I guess that one is the exception.
Well, I mean, every now and then everything comes together. I'd love to ask Anne-Marie Richards at Summit now how she did it. And I was actually there for that one, but yeah, 125 of 126 in 2 years is how Savia Morgan ends her high school career on the bases, and really looking forward to seeing what she's able to do at the next level in the Southeastern Conference for the University of Tennessee. But congratulations to her. Congratulations to Summertown, our custom stone handlers, in to win Life Team of the Week. Let's go to a break from the Lee Company Studios here on Main Street Sports Today. When we come back, talk a little more baseball of the professional variety. Stay tuned.
Wild horses are coming to Franklin. The Mustang Heritage Spectacular. 4 days of celebrity freestyle, liberty training, trick riding, and extreme Mustang makeover. Plus the shopping. Over 100 vendor spaces with clothing, food, home goods, and things you can't find anywhere else. All that and celebrity signings at a music stage too. June 20th through 23rd at Williamson County Ag Expo Park. Don't miss a moment with a weekend pass. MustangHeritageFoundation.org for tickets.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to Nashville Super Speedway.
That's right, guitars and fast cars right here in Music City. This summer, NASCAR is back at the Nashville Super Speedway. Get your tickets now to watch your favorite driver take on the 1.33 miles of concrete chaos. Visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com to lock in your spot June 28th through the 30th for the Ally 400 race weekend.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers, putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
May 16th, 1997, Alan Bennis no-hit the Braves for 8 2/3 innings, but had nothing to show for it as Greg Maddux matched him 0 for 0 on the scoreboard. Michael Tucker doubled in the 9th to break up the no-no, and Andrew Jones's infield base hit scored Tucker in the 13th for a 1-0 walk-off victory. That was over the Cardinals, by the way. The two teams combined for 33 strikeouts in that game, 3 short of an NL record for an extra inning contest, as the Giants and Mets struck out a combined 36 times over 23 innings in 1964. That was this day in
It took them 10 extra innings to strike out 3 more times.
Well,
that's crazy.
I think the key there is that the Braves and the Cardinals struck out 33 times in 13 innings.
Yeah, the K's per 9. I think that is far higher than the Giants and whoever.
Yeah, yes, just a bit, just a.
That's
tad.
crazy,
Yeah.
man. It just goes to show. Somebody said something the other day about when the Braves had the no-hitter for 8 2/3. No-hitters don't show up in the standings. It doesn't matter if you pitch a no-hitter. In this case, heck, you could get 26 outs of no-hit ball and not win.
Yep.
And so, I mean, they're cool and all, but I mean, they really, in the grand scheme of baseball seasons, don't matter.
Well, but here's the thing, though. If you get a no-hitter, I mean, I would be interested to know how many people have lost no-hitters. I mean, it's doable, but I can't imagine it's something that occurs often. So, and if you get a no-hitter, you got a pretty good chance of winning the ball game, I would think.
Well, I mean, Ryan Weathers went, 3 hits and no runs through 8, and Marlins didn't win. So, I mean, again, that's baseball, the ultimate team sport, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's nothing you can do as a pitcher now in Major League Baseball.
Not a thing.
There's nothing you can do
to get any runs on the board. Yeah. We talked yesterday about the Braves going for 3 straight shutouts against the Cubs. The Cubs must have heard it. Specifically, Mike Tauchman must have heard it because he homered to lead off the game yesterday, and the Cubs never really stopped scoring in an eventual 7-1 victory. So, in fact, if there was going to be a shutout, it was probably going to be the Braves getting shut out. They didn't score till the 6th.
Yeah, I kept watching my phone, and it was
7.
5, it was 1, and then it was 3, then it was 5 in the 5th, and I'm like, are they just scoring 1 run every inning? Like, because this is not boding well. No. We're not trending in the right direction here.
Not at all. Not at all. But now, that said, you win 2 out of every 3, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, Bobby Cox said that for a long time. He said, if we win every series, I think we'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm. And they did.
and somebody tweeted, there are far worse things in the world than only taking 2 of 3 from the Cubs right now. So
far worse. And we've seen a lot of them. They are off today, the Braves are, before the San Diego Padres come into town for 3 starting tomorrow. So
if you would like to purchase a ticket to the August 7th game against the Brewers, you can also be one of the first 15,000 fans through the gate and get a Spencer Strider vinyl record, whatever that means. I don't know what's on the record, but it is a vinyl record, Spencer Strider, and it's the Brewers and Braves. So, Milwaukee and all.
Vinyl records look a lot like Frisbees.
Yeah, don't go up there and lose, because then those records will be flying all. It'll be like Randy Myers poster night in Chicago that time.
I hope this doesn't go off the rails. Yeah, I hope the Braves have thought this all the way through. Now, in the lower levels, you've got nets down the lines, so maybe that helps.
You'd really have to do some damage to.
You'd have to elevate it pretty good to get it to the field from those seats. So maybe they thought that all the way through. Thomas Harding of MLB.com told Wade RELAX relative to the Astros. Well, they won 3-0 last night. What's that, their third straight now?
I thought you were spelling relief.
No.
ROLAIDS.
No, relax.
Yeah,
as a certain NFL quarterback would tell you.
But the Astros, man, look, and I think we need to have a little bit longer conversation about Ronaldo Lopez
Ronel Blanco?
Sorry, Romel Blanco. I'm still Braves on. We need to have a longer conversation because there is more information coming out about this, that it was simply rosin and he was sweaty.
Mm-hmm.
And the umpires have apparently carte blanche to say it's sticky stuff and to kick him out. Like, this is crazy. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, and now he's going to miss 10 games, which is 2 starts.
Well, can they not rescind that upon further review though?
Oh, no, that was the further review.
Oh,
they didn't suspend him until after their extra review of the situation.
Oh, wow.
And again, but there's you can't take the glove and have it, sampled for what the substance is. And you would think they could. I mean, call CSI Las Vegas and let's figure this out. But anyway,
I don't know. I don't know how invested a Rob Manfred-led MLB is in getting it right.
0. And that's the thing. And so anyway, my point to that is things start going well for the Astros, and now this.
Now their guy who threw a no-hitter earlier than anybody in recent memory is out for 10 days. Yeah. The Sounds feasting on jumbo shrimp. 12-2 on Tuesday, 5-3 yesterday. Game 3 is today. It's a 6:05 start.
That's because all of Jacksonville's good players are in Miami. I mean, anybody they had that was any good is playing for the big club because they don't have anybody else in the big club.
For all the good it's doing, yeah. Although they did win yesterday, I think. Did they not? Up at Detroit? They won the day before. They won that Ryan Weathers start despite him not getting the decision. And they won 2-0 yesterday. So, yeah, they're having fun up there. Good for them.
And Tigers fans are like, are you kidding me?
Are you? We just dropped 2 to the Marlins? Really? Yeah. But again, the Sounds and continue their series at Jacksonville today at 6:05 Central Time. You can hear the golden tones of Jeff Hem on the play-by-play. You can also hear the golden tones of Jeff Hem at 2:20 tomorrow right here as we have our weekly check-in with him from the road. So looking forward to that. Let's take a break here on Main Street Sports today as we have hour number 1 of Throwback Thursday in the books. When we return to the Lee Company studios, it is Throwback Thursday. We're going to throw it back to our segment with TERESA PHILLIPS discussing new TSU women's basketball coach Candace Dupree. So be sure and check that out. It's always great when we get to talk to Coach Phillips, and this will be fun as well. Stay tuned for that on the other side of this break.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers. Putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
Interesting news out of the Tennessee State campus late yesterday as it was announced that 16-year WNBA veteran Candace Dupree, a 7-time All-Star in the WNBA, who most recently worked as an assistant with the San Antonio Spurs, like until this past season ended, has been hired as the new women's basketball coach at Tennessee State University. And for me, there's nobody better to ask their thoughts about this than the person we're about to ask. Former TSU women's basketball coach, former TSU athletics director, TERESA PHILLIPS, joining us here on Main Street Sports today. Coach, how are you doing?
I am doing great. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. We're doing well. Everybody, we survived the high winds and everything else from a couple of nights ago, and just as we were mentioning to our other guest earlier today, just continuing to wish everyone in the area well as they recover from the destruction from a couple of nights ago. But Coach, we've talked to you about various hires in various positions at historic Black colleges and universities, and there have been a few that would, for lack of a better phrase, kind of count as maybe celebrity hires. Right. With the credentials that Candace Dupree brings to the table, it would kind of look like maybe this falls into this category. But when you look at her bona fides and the work that she's actually done, she's a coach.
Yes, she is. And she's a celebrity too, though. So she may be a little bit of both. I mean, when you've reached the highest of heights that she has on the professional level in the WNBA, you can't take celebrity off of her. And maybe she's done a little bit more playing at a high level than she has done coaching. I do think she's going to be a rookie coach to some extent on the college level, but she's been a student of the game, you know, from 18 when she played for the now legendary. I don't know if Dawn was legendary as a coach when she played for at Temple, but certainly she is a legendary coach, and she was a legendary player, at least when she coached Candace. And when you have a mentor like a Dawn Staley, that learning curve of being a head coach probably will just really go to a straight shot quicker than the average person's.
You know, when you look at, again, her work at the highest level of professional basketball in the NBA, and she worked in player development, that seems like a really good place to get your start as a coach in player development in the NBA. So, you know, and when you talk about, you know, her first year as a collegiate coach, there are obviously going to be some concerns with, you know, can she recruit and all of those things. But I wonder how much or how less pressure there is for a brand new coach in this era of college basketball with no preconceived notions of how it used to be, how well she will adapt to this era of college sports. So I'll be curious to see how that works out.
Yeah, I think I hear kind of what angle you're going at, because with NIL, with transfer portal, with all of what's going on, those veteran coaches are having to adjust to a new world of what collegiate coaching is. Well, she's coming in right when this is going, so she's not going to know too much different. I'm sure she keeps up with what's going on in the world of college sports, although she was with the NBA and then the WNBA. But heck, she knows this. And recruiting is just relationships. And having a name that she has, having some of the connections that she has, and I'm just going to say Coach Dawn Staley again, won't hurt her at all, as far as, at least, and this is what you want in recruiting. You want to get a shot at the person. You want to get a shot at the student athlete. You want them to be able to open their home up to you. You want to get put on their list or whatever. Candace Dupree's calling my daughter's house. I might put her in Tennessee State on the list just right there. Now, you know, obviously Tennessee State is a mid-major conference, maybe kind of lower than mid-major conference with the OVC. It's not as strong as it has even been in you know, the last 15, 20 years. And so I think Candace is going to be in a great position to win and win quickly at Tennessee State. Now, obviously, she has to find a team, and I think they only have 4 or 5 players, 3 of which were starters coming back, and they can play those 3. She just has to find a few more to go with them, and I'm already predicting in year 2 or no later in year 3 she'll win the OVC.
Yeah, if Dawn Staley says, "Hey, look, there are a couple players that I've seen that probably can't play for me, but they can definitely play at your level," or if she says that, I mean, it's going to be high praise for those athletes, and then you still get a chance to play for somebody who has the credentials that, you know, Candace Dupree has, and there aren't many coaches in college basketball right now with her credentials.
And past that, to invoke Coach Staley yet again, she gets a player who isn't necessarily working out for her at South Carolina. She has that sit down. You know what? I'm not sure this is going to work, but my girl over here in Nashville might be someplace that you ought to consider.
And then that'll go back to the development piece that I think Candace can prove right away to a young woman that she'll be able to develop you. She's played on a professional level. So, you know, the big thing right now probably for Candace is to really find 2, 3 great assistant coaches, hopefully who, you know, obviously who are already in the college game. Wouldn't hurt maybe to have someone with the HBCU experience, because whether people like it or not, that's a slightly different experience that would not hurt to have someone with that experience coming in on her early staff. And again, though, and I mean, are we going to say Don's name for the 5th time? If Don tells some of these young assistant coaches to come and help Candace, they'll be here. That she will get a good staff pretty quickly. I might put my name in it for one of the lower level positions.
Come on.
Coach Phillips coming back. Hey, you've had a little success over there. I mean, if you decided to do it, I'm sure she'd listen. But Coach, you make a great point, and it's a point that a lot of people aren't willing to necessarily acknowledge. It's different coaching at a historically Black college or university. And I mean, I've seen it from a journalistic standpoint because I covered TSU for a pretty good period of time, in addition to some PWIs is the way they refer to them, predominantly white institutions. And things are different. And it's not different bad, not different good, just different. But it takes some getting used to if you've not been in that environment before.
It certainly does. And, I was athletics director there for 20 years. And some of our coaches who came from PWIs came from different experiences. Some of them had experiences in both type of institutions. Some of them deal with it better than others. And the quicker they can kind of deal with some of the things and just keep tunnel vision to what they need to do, and let some of all of that periphery things that will happen at HBCU, like this sounds trite, but the band playing 24/7 when you're playing a game, and them being almost as important as a football team running out. Once you can just kind of get yourself past that and learn to just kind of lean in to some of those cultural differences that you may not have experienced at a PWI. I mean, really, it ends up being just ball, and ball is ball, and you just focus on the young people, focus on developing them, focusing on just winning and just enjoying the opportunity that you have as a coach to be leading a group of young people. I mean, it's a privilege. And so whether it's at a HBCU or PWI, you have to adjust to the job that you have and the environment in which you are. And the people who do that the best, whether they are broadcasters, people like you guys, or Candace Dupree coming into this situation she's coming into, whoever adapts the quickest, the best, they just, they help themselves out a lot as far as approaching success sooner, rather than kind of drudging through, fighting up against it, because you're not going to win at HBCU to fight some of the cultural wars. You're not going to win.
No.
TERESA Phillips joining us here on Main Street Sports today, talking about Candace Dupree, the new Tennessee State women's basketball coach, who has clearly earned your stamp of approval. But Coach, as you look at girls high school basketball in Middle Tennessee and in Tennessee, her recruiting net doesn't necessarily have to be very broad to be successful in the Ohio Valley Conference, does it?
It does not. And I think, we had a coach who won the OVC in 2015, somebody you're familiar with, Larry Joe Inman, who made his early coaching living at Mount Juliet High School here in the state of Tennessee, at MTSU, on to Eastern Kentucky. And he still knows that we have a great range of talent in Tennessee. And we've missed that boat in the last two coaches to just understand. Actually, when I won, who did I win with? Carolyn Aldridge, Glencliff High School. Just the people right here from Nashville and within 20, 30 miles of Nashville. So if she does a good job with that and get her coaches out, really meeting these coaches, going to our local and regional in the state of Tennessee games, she's going to be able to build a lot of her team.
I mean, Rick's done a great job of recruiting Middle Tennessee, and you see what he's been able to accomplish.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And Rick, Rick can't have all of them.
He's only got so many spots. So
he can't have all of them. It's a few more out there,
Sure. And that is one of the great things about being in Nashville right now. I mean, with Vanderbilt women's basketball on the upswing, Teresa, you've seen them up close and personal for the last couple of years, and we talk about it all the time about how the talent level in Middle Tennessee has grown to, absurd amounts at this point. But women's basketball has always been very strong in this area. And so, it is a good way to build a program starting here at home. And I think that's going to be a big part of this. I'm curious though, Teresa, how does the world of college sports today affect HBCUs in this NIL realm? Because I would feel like there are a lot of opportunities for HBCU athletes to be brand ambassadors in that realm. Is that something that you have seen at Tennessee State or anywhere else?
Well, I talked to the people in athletics in Tennessee State. Still have a great relationship with them and Mickey, and I think they're struggling actually in the NIL world. I mean, I think that they really are not getting the lift off that they need to get. I think having a coach like Candace may open that up a little bit. And most of the time, if a coach comes in, they're not going to just get for their team, women's basketball. They may open up some doors, and she may be able to open up some doors for Coach Penny over on the men's side. You never know, for Eddie. So some of that exists, but people work with and give to people they know and feel good and familiar with. And so sometimes you just that's why I think celebrity coaches, if they can do their job with using some of those tools and connections that they have, because to be honest, NIL, even on our level, even on this mid-major level, these kids are able to get at 10, 25,000, 50. They may not be getting $1 million, but if you're just a college kid, $25,000 is a nice little amount of money to have in your pocket. It will influence you signing with, Memphis, University of Memphis versus Tennessee State right there. I mean, the rest of the deal might be kind of even. And a lot of coaches are complaining they're chasing the money. Well, it's just a reality. It's a reality. And hopefully there's a little money there. And then you have a promise of a great education and a great mentor in Candace Dupree or Penny or Eddie George and whomever. You still have to sell yourself and what you're going to do for that young person. And of course, the school has to be part of that sale.
Coach, it's interesting as we get into the NIL space as it relates to an Ohio Valley Conference institution, because I wonder who is doing NIL well in that conference. And I don't know if you still have those conversations with, current or former administrators or anything like that. But as I consider, Tennessee Tech and Tennessee Martin and Moorhead and some of those schools, I'm not, and it's a perception more than anything, I guess, but I'm not necessarily perceiving any of those schools just shelling out significant amounts of money in the NIL space.
Well, I have the opportunity to talk to a few of them. I still go to some of the games here at TSU. Just saw EIU AD recently. Of course, Mark and I, who's up at Tennessee Tech, are pretty good friends, still colleagues, still talk and chat occasionally. It's difficult for them. I think Tennessee State could theoretically be a little ahead of them because we're in Nashville. And there's some opportunities here in Nashville that I've seen some of our football players get, some of the hip hop stores, some of the Slim and Husky things. I mean, so, it's just a little broader reach here in Nashville for the little dollars. And so it does exist, but it's going to have to really, you're going to have to invest in someone to help you with a collective and to really, really focus on that for your program and or for your athletics programs as a whole.
Great.
It's not going away. It's not going away.
No, it's not. So you better figure it out. Absolutely. TERESA PHILLIPS joining us here on Main Street Sports today. Coach, as always, we appreciate your insight, appreciate your willingness to come on with a couple of knuckleheads and talk a little sports for a little bit, and look forward to getting you on again soon.
Okay, I put this on. This is the 2015 OVC Championship medallion.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you, about 2 years held me back on. Candace will have us another one.
All right. Sounds good. We're going to take you up on that. We appreciate it, Coach. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to Nashville Super Speedway.
That's right, guitars and fast cars right here in Music City. This summer, NASCAR is back at the Nashville Super Speedway. Get your tickets now to watch your favorite driver take on the 1.33 miles of concrete chaos. Visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com to lock in your spot June 28th through the 30th for the Ally 400 race weekend.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Wild horses are coming to Franklin. The Mustang Heritage Spectacular. 4 days of celebrity freestyle, liberty training, trick riding, and extreme Mustang makeover. Plus the shopping. Over 100 vendor spaces with clothing, food, home goods, and things you can't find anywhere else. All that and celebrity signings at a music stage too. June 20th through 23rd at Williamson County Ag Expo Park. Don't miss a moment with a weekend pass. MustangHeritageFoundation.org for tickets.
Thursday continues here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Chris Yao coming to you from the Lee Company Studios here in Columbia and in Clarksville. And we just got done with Throwback Thursday with former TSU Athletics Director TERESA PHILLIPS. And, you know, any opportunity we have to have her on the show, we're going to do so. So glad to be able to replay that segment. Speaking of folks that we're going to get whenever we can, we are now joined by PGA professional Virgil Herring, PGA professional, television personality. And, you know, it's a little late on Sunday nights when he's on News Channel 5 with his golf tips, but he's going to give you some tips that will result in your hand out and their wallet out. Virgil Herring joining us on Main Street Sports today. Good afternoon, sir.
Mo, thanks for having me on, buddy. How's everything going?
Going well, man. Thank you for joining us. I don't play, but your tips make me want to try, and then I remember why I don't play. So, but wanted to get you on for a couple of reasons, Virgil. One, the PGA Championship started up today in Louisville, and it's unfortunate that Wade Neely isn't with us because he is close with Lee Hodges, who I think went off with John Daly earlier today, and we don't know how Lee is going to survive that, but it's always got to be an interesting pairing when you're playing with John Daly. But you know, what were your thoughts going into this, and what have you seen to this point of the opening round up at Valhalla?
Well, this is a ball striker's golf course, so the people who drive it the longest and the straightest are known to hit the best and crispest iron shots, are going to have the largest chance of winning, right? So that's Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele, Brooks Koepka. I mean, and where are they at? All of those names are at the top of the leaderboard. So this is the PGA Championship usually brings out the best player who drives it the longest and straightest and is a good iron player. They don't really tax generally the short game like the US Open or the Masters does. So at the end of the day, each major championship kind of focuses on one strength, so to speak, but the PGA Championship usually is given out to the best ball striker.
So no surprises thus far up there then?
No, not at all. And I would probably say Xander Schauffele is, you know, one of the favorites going in. He's hardly finished outside the top 10 one time this year, but he hasn't crossed the finish line a winner. I mean, last week he was leading Rory going into the final round, and Rory boat raced him. You know, there aren't many people that can boat race Xander Schauffele. Scotty Scheffler and Rory can. They have that game. So we'll see if Xander can hold on, because he's overdue for a major championship.
Build a 9-stroke lead for yourself. I mean, obviously, that's a good way to start day one. Also, a good way to start hole one as a new dad is to, you know, you could birdie it, or you could be Scotty Scheffler and just eagle it.
Just hole out from the middle of the fairway.
That's unreal, right?
And he holes out more than anybody on the tour. I know he and his caddy have a ongoing bet on the amount of hole outs that he has. So he's very accurate. The numbers indicate that, you know, take away the fantastic and the showmanship of Tiger Woods, his ball striking is every bit as good as Tiger in his prime. So it's pretty impressive.
I'm enjoying looking at this this leaderboard, because I actually, you know a lot of these names, which is different from the last couple of tournaments since the Masters. It's not always, you know, names that we recognize, and this is a really good tournament, and it's an important tournament right now for PGA. I mean, they really need a positive right now. How much impact does having the biggest names at the top of the leaderboard have for the PGA at this moment, as far as its, you know, long-term success?
Well, if we were talking about the PGA of America, who runs this event, or the PGA Tour, that are not the same thing. For the PGA Championship and the PGA of America, which is my side of the street,
right?
It's a very big deal to have your main event have all the best players show up, which is why the PGA Championship gave out all of the exemptions to the live players at the top of their list as well, to have the best field. And they're trying to be the most inclusive, which is a PGA kind of thing to do. So I think they're getting what they want. And at the end of the day, what else could you ever want is to have an event that brings out the best players, and the best players rise to the top. And I would call that a victory.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that in this world, for long-term success, I don't think you can pick a side if you are an independent, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I would probably tell you that, we're headed into some really murky waters, and then the PGA Tour is in a really big trouble because one of their biggest sponsors has threatened to pull all of their money out if they don't get an agreement done with the Live and the PIF. So I think that's going to be one of the more interesting things that come about in the second half of this year for the PGA Tour, is that I'm absolutely sure that RBC, which is the company that's threatened to do that, they're going to be followed suit by so many others that the pressure is going to could be suffocating. So obviously the PGA Tour has fumbled this a little bit, but they still have a chance to save it. Let's see what happens. It's going to be very interesting for sure.
Now, who are some of the guys that really need to play well here and finish strong to, obviously keep their season and going?
Well, I mean, you're looking at Rory hasn't won since the last time it was played at Valhalla. That's 10 years ago. He seems to be in great form. If Jordan Spieth wins, he becomes the 6th person to ever win a career Grand Slam. That's a great story. Brooks Koepka, if he wins, it'll be his 4th PGA championship. That'll put him in rarefied air. So like those are the big names. And you also got the #1 player in the world who hasn't seemed to have lost in the last year, and that's Scotty Scheffler. So there's a lot of great storylines. And then there's a host of others that are trying to break through. Xander Schauffele's trying to break through. Max Homa is trying to break through. Ludwig Oberg looks like he's right on the cusp of breaking through. So you got all the big names plus all the up-and-coming names. And it's hard to really say who needs it more, but I would probably say the PGA Tour, golf, and Rory McIlroy need Rory McIlroy to win. So let's see what happens.
Virgil Herring, PGA professional, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. The names that we see at the top of the leaderboard right now, are those pretty much the names you expect to see up there all weekend?
I expect that the big three, the guys who haven't lost in a while, Scheffler, McIlroy, and Koepka, to be in that group. I think Ludwig Oberg is going to be in that mix. Xander is going to be in that mix. But at the end of the day, I believe one of the winners are going to come out of one of those 5 names. That's my prediction.
Okay. All right. How long before we're hearing Blades Brown's name at the top of some of those lists, Virgil?
Man, I tell you, that's a really hard question to answer. That kid is a remarkable young man, and there isn't much that he does that's not worthy of 10 out of 10, 5-star superstar. He's one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet, super grounded, kind, polite. He's always rooting for you. I call him a boa constrictor. You think he's hugging you, but he's really killing you. He's super talented. The only thing that, at 16 years old, I can't tell you how many talented players that I've seen that didn't make it. He doesn't strike me as that one. But I would always say, let's give this kid a chance to be, finish high school and maybe play a year or 2 in college before we put that kind of pressure on him. But he is scintillatingly awesome. I do not coach him, but I've been around him plenty, and his partner is playing in the U.S. floorball with next week. I do coach, and he's just a true delight to be around. And if you're not rooting for Blades Brown, there's something wrong with you.
He goes over to his first PGA event this past weekend, shoots 10 under, 274 at Myrtle Beach. You mentioned going to college for a year or 2, and I know you're not around him, but I mean, is that pretty much the path? Does he have to do that? Is going pro straight out of high school an option?
It's always, at the end of the day, the cool thing about golf is that far right number on the scorecard is all that really matters, right? So if he keeps shooting the scores that he's shooting and competes at the highest level and does so, then the answer is yes. At the end of the day, I still think the scorecard is the indicator. If he's shooting the numbers that deserve to play on TV, guess where he's going to be? He's going to be on TV.
I guess, with everything that's going on the college sports landscape right now, Virgil, it's really a particularly fascinating decision that he's going to have in a couple of years with NIL and everything else. I mean, he could almost kind of have the best of both worlds in the right situation if he goes to college. Is that?
I mean, without knowing any specifics, the answer is heck yeah. And I would really say, I still think that if his game is good enough to play at the highest level, which would be on one of the big tours, I got to believe that's where he's going. Because there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Because let's just say he goes to the University of Tennessee. Those buildings are still going to be there 15 years from now if he doesn't want to play golf anymore. But he has to capitalize on this opportunity with all the talent and gifts that he has, and he's so good. It's just remarkable. He needs to capitalize on it, because if an education is what he's looking for, he can go to college any age of his life, but he needs to capitalize on this window of time that he's so dominant. So let's give him that for his gifts, because he takes God's gifts and uses them, and I guess that's what we're all here for. If you're given something, best use it.
There you go. Well, can't have a golf segment without saying the name Tiger Woods, +1 on the day.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for coming out, Tiger. I mean,
appreciate you selling a few tickets.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's what he is now. It's awesome to have him there. It's awesome that he's now giving back so much. But the opportunity for Tiger to win another major championship is going to be like literally the 13th moon of Jupiter and the 13th ring of Saturn lining up, because there's just no way that a part-time golfer at 48 with a broken down body can beat these young guys that are absolutely fueled by Tiger's greatness from the past. I just don't see it. I know it would be the greatest story in the history of the game, but I just don't see it.
The greatest story since he won his last major.
Yeah, and you could argue that that's maybe the greatest story in sports history. And if it's not, it is easily in the top 10. And if he would come back and win another one, my goodness. I mean, it's so hard to imagine that somebody could have two of those moments. But if there is anybody that could, you'd like to think it'd be Tiger.
And that's what keeps folks tuning in, I guess, Virgil. Just that thought that if anybody can do it, Tiger can, and I'm gonna be watching if he does.
Yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to. I mean, he's proven time and time again you can't ever count him out. I'm guilty of counting him out in about 2015. I'm like, no chance. So when he won in 19, that's like, I just couldn't even believe what I was watching. It actually gave me tears just watching something like that, because I mean, some of his injuries are self-made, and some of them are just from the wear and tear of the sport. But he has overcome so many things physically, mentally, and emotionally that even if we would say he's not perfect, the fact that he has persevered through all of those things, that is inspiring to anybody, because we all go through struggles. And I'm not sure that we've ever had to go through the amount of struggles that Tiger did in the limelight, where every person in the planet knows what you're doing. And his doing that, I couldn't be prouder of him.
I have a question. We were talking about LIV and PGA earlier, and right now the LIV golfer's not doing great, all while looking silly on the golf course. Is that making it worse? I mean, if they go out there, they look silly and they win, that's one thing. But you go out there and you struggle like Jon Rahm is doing right now, it seems like a really bad look for LIV golf.
Well, I mean, Brooks Koepka's in there. He's doing fine. I would just say this. I don't know what it is that you mean by looking foolish, but at the end of the day, Jon Rahm is definitely not playing good. But DeChambeau played well. Koepka played well. Those are the two big names. Cameron Smith also right in the mix. So, and there's another name that could easily win this event is Cameron Smith. I don't really think anybody really thinks of it in those terms. I think that most people are looking at it as, are the best players playing well? And by and large, I'd say if you pick the top 20, 16 of them are right in the top 25. So, and I think half of, probably at least 5 of those guys are LIV. So, and I would say that if you put the top 20 right now out there, I'd say probably it's 11 PGA Tour, 9 LIV. And, it looks like about that in the leaderboard right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. That's for sure.
Who is Thomas Detry?
He's from
That's
France. Very
random name in the top 6 right here.
Yeah, he's got a great golf swing. He has to have a resume to win a major championship. I would say it would be an upset if he won, but he's a great ball striker, which is what this golf course provides. And I wouldn't be shocked to see him finish high, but I don't see him winning.
4 under through 9. I just thought, wow, okay, because all the others in that area are finished, and he's 4 under through on the first 9. You're like, okay, all right, Thomas Detry, whoever you are, well done. You'll take that.
Yep. There's a lot of really good players out there that nobody knows about, which is going to be interesting as the future goes on.
I mean, I love looking at these names that I've just, you don't hear often. And because there's just plenty of them. There's plenty of great players out there, and it's remarkable. You never know. Golf is one of those sports where, at least for one day, somebody can be a superstar.
That's exactly right.
It may be rare, but that one day where everything's going right. But anyway. Oh man, Virgil, thanks again. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Talk to you again soon here and talking a little more golf anytime, man.
Look forward to it anytime I can come on. Y'all have a great day.
All right. We'll take. Hey, you're back and you're moving.
Who knew? Yeah. I hate that I missed part of that Virgil session. He's always great to have, like we said.
And since we're in the golf segment, Mo, we should probably mention that Happy Gilmore 2 has been announced, that it's coming out soon.
We've talked about sequels.
This is one that should not be made.
Yeah, I don't know.
Leave it be.
I don't know what a second Happy Gilmore accomplishes.
I mean, where do you bring the story? Where's the story come from?
Chubbs is dead.
Well, he was dead in the first.
Well, he died in the movie. That's right. Yeah. So,
so that's okay. I mean, I guess.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. That's a little depressing, actually, to hear.
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna watch it because there are a few Adam Sandler movies I don't watch, so I'm gonna watch it. But
But your hopes aren't going to be very high for it, huh?
No, low bar.
There we go. Let's take a break here on Main Street Sports Today while I try to figure out what just happened over the last 10 minutes. But when we come back, it'll be the grab bag, and it will be heavily dominated by one particular professional sport, as is the case in real life. So stay with us when we come back from the break.
I'm Maurice Patton, and on Main Street Sports Today, we bring you the voices of your favorite teams from preps to pros.
Otherwise known as the VOT, Mike Keith.
The bottom line is we can teach Will Levis woke.
I just don't know who's going to work with you on your base stealing now that EY's gone.
Well, that has nowhere to go but up. And I was just like, oh, guys, not again. Can we just bury that, burn that footage, and not bring it back?
No.
No. Thank you. We'll keep it going past the All-Star break, and looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season plays out. There's always a good story to tell.
Can you guess where I am today, Mo? Where am I?
It's not Reese Smith Field, is it?
Yeah.
Because anytime you play Chicago, you want to win. That's
you got that right, and
that's bottom line.
Be a buzz.
When you're walking the dog, you keep the bags that you need for the dog in the bag, and you don't even have to wear it. You can just hold it, which is what I do when I walk the dog. So
I think the fanny pack probably needed a little rebranding.
It did. It really did.
On your show logo, we've got to get a puck in there. There's a basketball. There's a football. There's a baseball. Maybe not a puck. How about Mo brandishes a hockey stick?
Tune in daily at 2 p.m. on Main Street Media TV.
Hey, you're moving again.
Oh, and you know, I chuckle every time I hear that promo, especially the second time, because the thought of me brandishing a hockey stick is just kind of chuckle inspiring, and
It really is.
the thought of me being on ice skates goes from chuckle to just straight out guffaw. But anyway,
Fear.
that too. Yeah, I'm
Hey,
too old to fall.
Before we get into the NFL,
Mhm.
we didn't get to this in baseball because I didn't know about it until right now. Have you seen David Fletcher, the veteran infielder,
pitching at Gwinnett?
This is incredible.
I just saw a quick glimpse of it while we were, you know, as I was scrolling through Twitter, as we are wont to do while we're on the show. So I didn't have a whole lot of opportunity to really pay much attention to it, but clearly you have.
I'm reading here that he struck out 3 batters in an inning, allowed 1 walk, and hit 1. Because you never know where
Effectively
a knuckleball's
wild.
going to go. Well, you know, you never know where a knuckleball's going to go. Opponents missed 6 out of 9 swings at his knuckleballs. He has a 0.00 ERA in 2 relief outings. I mean, what was that? Hey, I can pitch if that's what you need me to do. David Fletcher is out here proving it.
There we go. Oh.
Hey, this is amazing. I love knuckleballs, and this is so perfect. Oh man, sorry, I just saw that and I couldn't believe it. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That's coming soon to a ballpark near you. The knuckleballing
Maybe
David
so.
Fletcher. I wonder if he's had a chance to work with former Braves pitcher R.E. Dickey.
You get him. Yeah, they don't come here until September for their only trip to town.
Interesting. Again, the NFL is the only league that can really command your attention 12 months a year. And they have done so yet again, announcing the schedule for 2024 on May 15th. The Titans will open the season at Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears before coming home for their season opener against the Jets and their quarterback. And then I'm told I will be in the stands on September 22nd when the Green Bay Packers come to town, as you alluded to when we talked about this yesterday, Chris. So she's not real happy. She got a little sticker shock.
Peacock.
No, on that Packers game at Nissan.
Well, ticket prices will do that to you. SeatGeek has them at as high as $1,000, as low as $239 is the lowest I can find, and that is
She saw 185, so it sounds like she should have jumped on those, huh?
Yeah, it sounds like. This is interesting. This is a heck of a schedule. Clearly, some of those leaks did not pan out.
Well, that's what
they never
happens
do.
with leaks.
The NFL is like AA. Alex Anthopoulos and the NFL are going to keep everything as tight as they possibly can.
I mean, if it's a leak, it's likely not accurate. Yeah,
there you go.
Again, the Titans' home games are September 15th against the Jets, September 22nd against the Packers, October 13th against the Colts, November 3rd against the Patriots, the 17th against the Vikings, the 8th against the Jaguars, the 15th against the Bengals, the 8th against the Jaguars.
Have you seen the Broadway?
I don't know who those guys are.
I don't know who that is. Who is that? That's so good.
I don't know who that is. Yeah. And the 15th against, they've gone downhill.
Yes. And this is the big one, right? I mean,
yeah.
This is the big one.
Yeah. Brian Callahan gets his former team on December 15th, and then the season finale in week 18, and that date has not been set yet, against the Houston Texans, as Shaq Mason and company come to town. So
does Miami really want a primetime game against us at home?
Given the way they've gone of late, my guess would be no. But clearly the NFL didn't ask. Yeah. Yeah. Again, road games against the Bears on September 8th, that Monday night football game against the Dolphins on September 30th, which is followed by a bye week.
Early bye.
Yeah. 4 weeks in? October 20th is a road game at Buffalo. The following week is at Detroit. November 10th is at Jim Harbaugh and the Los Angeles Chargers. I got it right. Yeah. That's the first of, well, no, it's not. Then you go to Houston, you go to the Commanders. December 22nd is at Indianapolis, and the road finale on December 29th is against, I don't know who those guys are. So,
what is the ceiling right now today? What is what is the ceiling on wins?
The ceiling 10?
I got 11.
I mean, with that receiving core, with the improvements they've made on the defensive side of the ball,
I think 11 is winning a game you shouldn't win.
Which is why I went 10. No. You feel like Buffalo, Detroit, and the two Houston games are maybe a little out of reach. You feel like Green Bay may be a little out of reach.
I think we beat Houston at home. And that may be where our 11
that may be the one that you shouldn't win then.
Because I think they've played Houston well the last last year even. I think we've improved. Yeah. I think Cincinnati's a big toss-up.
You feel like you split?
I think the Chargers are a toss-up.
What are you doing with these 6 division games?
4-2. And that's because we're going to lose one we shouldn't lose, which is probably at Indianapolis.
So you think we should beat Indianapolis here?
I think we should beat them both times, but we're not going to. We're better than they are.
You think they beat Jacksonville twice?
Oh, yeah. Trevor Lawrence will be on his butt the whole game. I can't wait.
There you go.
So
it's interesting.
I think Green Bay is. I think Green Bay is probably a loss.
I think
Miami's probably a loss.
I think year 2 of Jordan Love, man, is going to be something to watch.
He's gotten so much better, and he's only going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm with you there, and so this should be interesting. It's a heck of a schedule because I think the ceiling is 11, but I think the floor is only 6. I think they're gonna win 6 games no matter what.
Wow.
Washington, that's a win, right?
You feel like Washington's a win. You feel like the Bears is a win right out the box.
The Bears, New England, and Washington, that's 3 wins right there.
I don't see any reason you don't beat the Jets. With or without.
Yeah, I would agree.
Guy. So,
I mean, you could, I can see that. I mean, at Buffalo, at Detroit, those are both losses.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think there's four wins that I would be really upset if they didn't get.
Right.
And then I think you split, you probably beat Jacksonville and Indianapolis 1 time each if it's the floor.
Yeah.
So that's 6. 6 is my floor.
That makes sense.
They're not going to be picking top 5 as most people are predicting. And I think the over under right now is 4.5 wins.
That's crazy. That's crazy. 4.5?
Okay, DraftKings has it at 7.5.
Oof.
That's a little tougher.
That's a tough number.
That's a little tougher to bet on.
I don't think I'd bet that.
Again,
4.5, I'd be looking for money.
6.
At 4.5, I'd be looking for money to throw at the over on that. But 7.5, that's tough.
So anyway.
I'm sure we will talk more about the NFL schedule as we go. But
Speaking of schedules, and you're about to talk about the WNBA, what are they doing? Like
fumbling the bag.
How badly can you fumble the bag on this? I mean, you've got 2 games and both of them start at the same time. This is insane. This is like the UFL. The UFL did the same thing with what are we doing? We have 2 games and we can't start them 2 hours apart in different time zones.
Fumbling the bag.
Mind-blowing.
Which, this comes in right on top of that. You remember week and a half, 2 weeks ago when we were talking about the WNBA announces charter flights for all league travel? Well, I know it's hard to believe, but 3 of the 5 teams that traveled on opening night did not fly charter. That means 2 did. One of which was the Indiana Fever.
Well, I mean, it was a 10-hour bus ride otherwise.
Well, but you got to love those optics, though. When only 2 teams flew charter and one of them was Caitlin Clark's team?
I need to – well, I mean, again, I don't know who traveled where, but
the New York Liberty did not fly for their game against the Mystics. No.
To Washington, to D.C., I mean. You're right.
Yeah. So. But, I mean –
that's a 4-hour bus ride. It might be it might be more difficult. It might be a 4-hour bus ride from the airport to the arena.
I think I get what you're saying. I'm not necessarily trying to be contrary, but my point is, why would you announce that without having everything buttoned up?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't read exactly what they said, so I don't know. I would love to know what just to be able to say, because I didn't read the press release. I know they said they were going to have chartered flights, but I don't know if they said every game. If they did, this is not good, obviously.
I'm looking at this CBS Sports article. Although no specific timeline was announced, Engelbert stated in the release the program would begin as soon as practical for the 24 and 25 season.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Little asterisk there. Anyway, I hear the music, so it's time for us to go. Tomorrow we will have Jeff M. and we will have Valer Shabilla joining us here on Main Street Sports today. So be sure and join us here in the Lee Company studios from 2 to 4. We will see you 2 bells tomorrow. Bye.